The back of this. Anyone poking their heads out? No, the Shock want to be going aggressive into them. The Blizzard's laid down. Striker using that Deadeye just to force them back, but Nero ends up falling here, losing a consistent core piece of their damage. Striker so low, he will go down. And FD God with the sound barrier, not going to be finding too much, but he does find the kill onto Pelican. The boop comes through, but at this point they've lost far too many pieces. The Immortality Field comes through, just to save Super for a few brief seconds, but not before he eventually goes down. And the Atlanta Reign,
two that he can respond with. So much of it is going to come down to these petite. Unless Super lands Earth Shatters like that. That's forced out the Immortality Field for both sides, actually. And that ult from Nero is what seals it up. The Blizzard invested so much earlier than Pelicans.
They try to prioritize and put a lot of pressure on the
What is that shadow? Okay, bold from Gator, doesn't find anything. Choyobin's in the backlines here already, actually. Distracting Pelican. What?
Oh my goodness. The old bait and switch, huh?
A 4K from Massa and then a boot from Hawk as well. He must have been just hanging around in the high ground there. Was this replay? Yeah,
let's take a look at this quick. Yeah, I mean, that is a little bit low here. Half HP Deadeye from across the map here. Kai looking for the opportunity. Nero goes down. Nero was hunting for the Blizzard, trying to get it aggressively into them. And it has set themselves up for a couple of these kills now as the positioning was gained. They split the Atlanta Reign up. And despite losing Nero early on into this team fight, they are finding the pickoffs.
That was so close for the San Francisco Shock.
Now it's going to be the even fight. Kai falling quite low. Deadeye not getting too much work. Striker has to roll backwards. The Blizzard to try and gain a bit of space. Kai with the Deadeye as well. Holding, desperately trying not to get caught out of position. The Shock finding it hard to get even a foothold into here. And Super with the pile driver not getting anything done. Still Striker is alive and putting in the damage from afar. The Peacekeeper putting in so much work. The Hawk ends up eating Nero's Blizzard. That could have been critical.
What a play there. And in the meantime, Kai is just staying alive, doing consistent damage throughout this team fight. FD God falls in the Atlanta Reign with Gator coming back in on the hamster. They're trying to turn this one around. The beat from Massa is just too late to catch Gator. Is that going to be critical? It doesn't look like it. The Shock are losing players left, right, and center.
Holy moly. The Shock have just lost too many players into this. Super will fall and round them. It's going to be happening a little bit sooner than that. The Ice Walls come through, and that's going to be trying to lock up these players. Troy taking a bit of damage. Nobody really pressuring Kai. And look at that. Flashbang comes over. It catches onto Super. There was no peel for him. Hawk frozen up, though. Kai hunting for these headshots desperately. Choi will get demech. The charge from Super as he tries to at least make some sort of outlandish play to turn it. Not enough. The tanks fall. And so do the Shock's chances of taking that team fight.
If it's Massa that's calling the rotations here for Atlanta, or whoever it is, they're a genius. They really are. They caught the San Francisco Shock completely there, pushing around with a little off-angle flank from Kai, and then catching with Pelican's incredible Maywall here.
Gotta be careful. Super falling low, and that's gonna mean the Immortality Field. But now the Deadeye from Kai. Gonna be holding this one. Speed boost around the corner. The shield gets destroyed here. Gator ends up using his Earth Shatter. Couple of players going down here, but Gator being frozen up, pinned against the wall as well, against the tree, I should say. Still the Shock trying to find us, but nobody is pressuring Kai. He's just putting in so much work. The Icebox now forced out of Nero, and the rest of the Atlanta Reign find it. Still, Nero with the Stray Icicle, not enough to try and turn the fight. The Atlanta Reign, 7th wall of Nero, trying to lead this one in. Super hunting for the Shatter. Look at the pressure he's applying to Gator. With Gator down, he might not even need to use the Shatter. Just going to go for the charge here as the overtime comes up. A lot of faith in their team now to just clean up the rest of these players. But the Shock finally going to be able to get at least a couple of percentage points on the board in this round. They just about saved this map.
From Nero.
Yep, and they're going to be finding that one. It forces ultimates out. The Earth Shatter comes through. It only connects onto Hawk. Super caught up out of position. He's going to get taken down by Kai. This fight has gone disastrous for the Shock. They're so split up right now. The players, the Atlanta Reign, they recognized what they could do, and they rotated fast around the left-hand approach. And off the back of that, they pince around. They pierce into the Shock, and now the overtime ticks over. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch this one. FD God might be able to get a body onto the point, but he just has to avoid this Deadeye. He's going to get taken down by Hawk. Choi now, straight up into the skybox. It's not over just yet, but FD God did go down with the beat once more.
You say it's not over. It feels inevitable, inexorable. The Atlanta Reign are just storming through, and they take our first map of Aways as well. They don't have to worry about an Ashe peppering them from a distance. It's only Violet. He can't do the same thing. He can't launch in those dynamites.
Now, the one thing that the McCree does do, it stops a lot of pressure. The go button was pressed here for the shock. They wanted to engage back into the back line. And all set up with the Bionade from Twilight. And that is massive. No ultimates being used.
They don't have to reset all the way to the choke point. They just have to anticipate these dives and avoid them. But that's a huge
grab. Comes through. Yep, no follow-up though. No one can really follow up onto this. Iris using the Transcendence.
Pulse bomb.
That's a pretty big miscommunication there coming out from the shock. The fight continues though, as Hawk is looking for a target with his own grab. But they have point control. The mines come down. The shock realize, okay, we're not going to be able to win this team fight. We're going to wait out these ultimates. As the rally just about fades.
Nano on Violet, he got whip shot into the drink. Unbelievable.
That is pretty absurd. What a play coming out from Pelican to just completely counteract the ultimate. And it's just a matter of time. The Atlanta Reign happily securing up that
bash and be so aware of what you're doing. And now Atlanta, they have a big opportunity here to snowball. If they can catch this kill on Choyobin, not quite. The rally keeps him alive.
Oh my goodness. I thought for a second then that Choi was going to get chunked down, but Striker answers back immediately. The pulse bomb. Not even any setup into it, but the bubbles...
What do you do against this?
Okay. They almost burst him down. That was the Discord Orb applied to Smurf. Just going to get disjointed now, but now the grab comes in right as the Primal is fading. So much damage being cleaved into them, but no follow-up, no kills happening. In fact, it's the Atlanta Reign who are the ones coming out on top, and the resources they're pouring into Pelican means that there is not going to be any kills going their way. The Atlanta Reign with a big advantage. They absorb the aggression, and now they're coming back in. Let's take a listen in at the Atlanta comms.
Just run. 오라. 그래. 브리. Nice shot.
Yeah, calm down.
That whip shot had to hit. Really, really clutch moment here. Now the Shock are looking to try and again work their way through this choke point. Not running the Zen. Striker's going to get caught out of position. And it's an underrated aspect of it actually. When the Shock are running this kind of composition, when they're not running the Zenyatta, instead they're opting for the Ana, it means that there's a little bit less resources applied to Striker for him. No Harmony Orb to win out this fight. So now Shock are really not going down without a fight here. The Bionade indoors. Edison going down. This is such a scrappy engagement here. Remember, the Shock are on the attack. The scrappier it gets, the better it is for them.
It certainly is. Striker's been able to come back into the fight and the DPS mop up two final players. And that is it onto Violet, but no, it does go onto Smurf. In the meantime, the DPS fall extremely low, but Gate has been burnt out, destroyed. Ooh. Nice play from Hawk, great reactions to eat that pulse bomb, and Striker gets punished for his attempt.
Edison in the back line, the 2K with the pulse bomb. Oh my goodness, that was looking tricky. And it's still not over just yet. Smurf was in the back line and managed to take down Iris, but when the rest of these targets get hunted down, the Atlanta Reign can breathe a sigh of relief. Rally engagement from both these teams. Gonna be looking to make them fight happen. The mine's onto the high ground. Gator just about gets out of his life. He has those shields. Nano boost applied! Smurf jumped straight into it, and he got blown up. The Discord Orb was already on him. Smurf gone, and now the Shock are caught behind enemy lines here. They might still want to take this fight. The grab gets sent straight in. Is there going to be any follow-up whatsoever? Post bomb up into the sky. The damage is immense. Gravitic Flux has to be forced out now. Hawk needs to find a kill or two with it, but they're not getting it picks just yet. Twilight will eventually go down, but nobody can touch the Shock. Just when you think they're out of it, just when you think big. Iris needs to find a volley. Something is just pumping out the damage, hoping that he connects. The power drive comes through. The shield is there from Choi. Captures it up. Another sleep dart onto Gator. Locks him into the corner here. Gator very low, just trying to take the off angles. But look at this. The nano boost now applied. A lot of damage being put out now onto Smurf. But Smurf stays alive. The peel is there. And despite the best efforts, the Atlanta Reign not quite enough to overcome it. The Shock are going to be holding them just at the choke.
What an embarrassment of riches that the San Francisco Shock have.
It doesn't have anybody to play off. The point's going to get pressured here, but Smurf gets destroyed. And that's an important takeaway from this one, because now they're going to start to contest. They need to start committing some bodies onto the point. Choi goes down. So the Shock now losing their tanks. Not an ideal scenario, but Striker wants to try and at least take a couple of players down with him. Dodges the accretion, still going for the fight, and he's being healed from afar. Twilight just keeping him up as this entire fight is taking place.
Striker's doing work here, eventually gets taken down by Edison, but here's Twilight again with a nano boost applied onto Smurf. He forced out the Transcendence and then separated Iris away from Pelican, jumps onto him. Can the Atlanta Reign stall this out? Another sleep onto Gator, this time with no...
Use it to stop the shock from really initiating in, but again, the bubble is off, and now the Primal Rage comes through, knocked off the edge. Perfect mechanics from Smurf. Wonderful work on the Winston once more. Backs up, and now puts his attention into the backline to try and split them apart. The shock capitalize immediately. The space has been created, stunned up Smurf so low, but now the nano boost applied. The ult rotations are impeccable. The Atlanta Reign with only a couple of players left standing, not enough to stand up to the shock. Great engage so far today. Once more, the battle between Kai and Striker here.
Yeah, there we go. Striker finding that pick on Pelican, who was just isolated in the middle of the control point. That's going to signal the go, but the San Francisco Shock move forwards. That Immortality field was down before it even came up. And Gator gets it demolished immediately.
Oh my god! Okay, well, talk about an entrance. You know, we were bigging up the shock and just saying...
Up until that team fight, but now Striker leapfrogs him, and they have earlier access to this Dragon Strike. Here it goes, Striker putting it in, Maywaller Gator's back as well. Kai responds with one though, and a lot of the shock are getting weak here.
Yep, they're falling super low, and then you can see that Super's just caught out of position. Kai as well, putting in that consistent damage. A huge Dragon Strike from Kai was able to split them up earlier on in that team fight, and it meant nobody can follow up on Super's damage or help it with the heals necessary. Used early, Gator now using the Earth Shatter, and now the Blizzard from Pelican. It's going to lock up a lot of these players. FD God, again, not close to the beat to try and counteract this and take this fight further forward. The Atlanta Reign with 2 pickoffs. Now they're going to be looking for a couple or more. Still, the Shock trying to turn this fight. You can always trust the Shock to try and at least turn the fight into their favor. The Immortality field gets forced out, but Violet goes down. The wall comes through, but not enough to save Nero as they're just bounding onto their opponents.
That is the sign of a great team, utilizing their ults to try and turn things around. Unfortunately, when it doesn't work, it looks like they've been completely wasted there. And the Shock have used a couple of ultimates towards the end of that they would love to try and block stuff as well. And the Shock, both teams actually using the sound barrier, but Hawk already falls.
Yep, Hawk going down early there was the critical move. See the damage being pumped through. Look at that Dragon Strike cutting straight through the Atlanta Reign. And it forces them forwards and backwards right into the grasp of the San Francisco Shock. Only a couple of players left standing, but they will fall eventually. That was, again, you could see the kind of...
Could be pivotal here as well. If Massa can do some aggressive, decisive engagement off the back of that, could be the key to victory.
Wow, Super ends up battering them off! What was that? Oh my goodness, a couple of hammer swings, knocks him off the high ground and steps it up for the Earth Shatter. What a critical play. They were not expecting that in the slightest. And the Shock just to seal it out. FD God lets the sound barrier go. Massa also without one of his own. It means they just about get the check. Yep. The Amp Matrix is going to, again, force Atlanta Reign backwards. The cart's going to get pushed in. Oh, the Gravitic Flux. Look at this. Straight into the Dragon Strike once more. Into the Blizzard as well. The Atlanta Reign, what have they got to answer? Well, Pelican's Blizzard is going to do a ton of work here. And it's made the fight even. Nobody was pressuring Kai. And Kai from the high ground once more. The Storm Arrows come through. Needs to get this kill onto Striker. And he will do just that. It was looking so good for the Shock there, but the Atlanta Reign knew exactly what they needed to counteract it.
And now, Miracoms, both teams, opting for the Sigma, opting for the Hangzhou.
Kai going for the kill here on the FD God. Takes a bunch of damage with the Storm Arrows. Close attempt. They're trying to fight around this card here. FD God, that early damage that was applied, set him up for the kill. FD God, I believe, got booped down as well. And now the Shock, they've lost Super. They've got to back off past this choke point. The forward hold not paying off.
Atlanta Reign are exceptionally good at being able to find individual weaknesses in how the Shock is set up. You feel like normally the way that these comps work, you're putting on main walls, you're trying to kill the opposing Reinhardt or attack. Instead, these teams are thinking about it in such a different way, you know? FD God is putting himself in aggressive positions because that will help the Shock, but he also puts himself in a risky position that then can become a potential weakness to be punished. And the Atlanta Reign do that expertly, absolutely expertly. There he is again, up in the high ground, dancing around the window. Exactly where he wants to be.
Oh, here we go.
He's going to be trying to contest Kai if he goes up into that area and tries to raise damage down from above.
Oh, the Amp Matrix is down, the walls as well. The Immortality Field instantly goes down. Pin against the wall here, Gator. He's low, he's weak, but it's Violet who goes down, and look at that damage. Gator letting the Fire Strike rip through the Amp Matrix. 2 kills for him. It's a clean sweep here in this team fight now for the Atlanta Reign, pushing this one forwards. They're going to have ults to boot. And now we're going to be taking the 6v5 fight.
Yeah, Pelican killed Striker at the beginning of the next one, and there it is, the Flux into the Blizzard combo again. Catches Nero, catches FD God, Super falls as well. And the Atlanta Reign, they're patient when they need to be, and then they know when to turn it up. The tempo is fantastic. Their control of that, beautiful. And they take checkpoint B and add 5 minutes in total to that time bank.
You know, this map, we often say, you know, this is the Shock's playground, but right here, Dragon Strike comes through. Almost a boop attempt's coming through, but no one's really capitalizing here, and Super's been caught out of position. Another great ice wall. The players have fallen, and now they don't even have to get the full completion here, Josh. The players are tumbling one after the other, just snowballed. The momentum is behind the Atlanta Reign, and they are so close now. That red box, that's what they're aiming for. Will there be a contest from the San Francisco Shock? They have to get bodies onto it. They're struggling, they cannot do it. The Atlanta Reign. The map kind of plays towards it, and now you can see the teams are clashing again. Wall goes up here by Nero. Not being forced out of position, Gator gets locked up. The Immortality Field saves Super, he backs off with his team as well. They're gonna do their best not to lose any more players, but it is a clean start for the Shock here. They come into this rejuvenated, and now they're going to be looking to move this car forwards. A great sign for the Sharks. Forces the positioning back and gives the Atlanta Reign at least a moment to think. And now the Amp Matrix goes through, but Shock want to dive straight through it. Not enough though. Fire Strike connects onto Nero, and that was amplified again. The damage comes through, and not enough. The Shock tried to play proactive into that as soon as the window was laid down, but yeah, getting this right now. Oh, Blizzard gets used. Deadeye from Striker. He had to let it go early because he was about to get frozen up here, and Super's just trying to hold the flank off. Gator ends up going down here, and that opens it up now for Super to lay down the shatter. 2 players hitting the deck. The Shock eventually find their opening, and they are going to be jumping on it. 1 minute remaining. It was getting a little bit squeaky there.
But Gator isn't with them.
Yeah, nobody's really ready for Kai off on this off angle. He's just pumping in the arrows. The Amp Matrix comes down for the Shock though, and they did catch Gator out of position. The amplification matrix damage, a little bit too much to overcome. And they are going to win out this team fight, slowly but surely. A really good sign, honestly, winning this team fight here. It means they're probably not going to get held up too much at this final point in May. The Shock want to play into this. The Amp Matrix goes down. Most teams will look away, but the Shock's just going to be gliding straight into them. Now the Blizzard is going to freeze them up. The sound barrier is going to be met and answered as Nero lays down his own Blizzard, and it's locked up the players. It's a better series of events now for the Shock. The ultimates came out in the correct order, and they're the ones who have come out on top.
Absolutely dominant. Could be good once Shock get close, but here it comes. Speed boost Deadeye. Atlanta are going to try and meet it.
Okay, Gator going to get taken out by that Deadeye, but the self-destruct is going to be returning at least something. Striker goes down, and nobody can really get Kai off. Eventually, he's going to be rejoining his team over the bridge. Stormhour pushing a player or 2 off, but Iris will fall. And Kai's the last one standing here. Everyone very low on the side of the Shock, but ultimately it's just going to be
Field inside their own spawn doors there to be able to stay alive. Kai with a pick. That could be decent. Atlanta are flooding out of spawn, but their tanks are still so low.
Yeah, Kai's been offered a lot of space here, but he's got to do some heroics for sure. The D-Mech comes through. Okay, the Blizzard's going to be locking up a couple of these players. Super gets caught, but so does Hawk. Hawk locked against the positioning, and look at that. Swinging away, the Shock are finishing with 56 seconds in their time bank on Havana. A ridiculous time.
Defensive snowball rolling, and just keep the Atlanta Reign penned inside of their own spawn doors. Violence and Matrix gets used. Kai's got to be the difference maker here. There it is.
Yes, we've seen this so many times before. Kai on the off angle, and he's found the one pick that really does matter. Yes, the Shock are going to be winning this team fight, but ultimately, Striker's going to be running back
for Striker to come back. And here it is, Nero's. Whoa! The Blizzard immediately backed up into a corner, and they use the Immortality Field.
Oh my god! What is that? Laying down so many ultimates, caught into the corner. The Atlanta Reign somehow find their way on top, but now the Dragon Strike comes through. Not enough. Nero still alive, still putting in damage. And Striker, last one standing, just needs to get the beat down onto Gator. Finds the headshot. Are you kidding me? Finally put down as Gator connects the kill. But look at the time bank. A scrappy win.
Stop the payload at all costs.
Nero, another wall. Laid up with a gravitic flux. You can see Gator swinging into them, and it's going to combo with the Dragon Strike. Sound barrier laid down as well. The Atlanta Reign trying to snowball this one. They do not want to get held up at this corner.
They used everything there, Brent. Gator shattered. Gator shattered.
Matrix. Choi builds up his self-destruct here, and Violet's just putting in that consistent healing and damage. Now the sound barrier to meet this Blizzard. Self-destruct comes through. Gator gets caught out of position. The Immortality Field, I don't know if he just got caught out of it or what, but he eventually will fall, and it has bitten the Atlanta Reign into the backside. They were hoping that they would have the momentum if they committed all those ultimates in the previous team fight. They were hoping that it would be enough to secure...
Use here, speed boost Deadeye, pushes the Atlanta Reign back. Kai tries to respond with a Dragon Strike, but it's in the completely wrong direction. Nero with a Blizzard has caught up so many people.
Yep, and Gator's getting slowly frozen up by that Blizzard. And now 15 seconds remaining, the Atlanta Reign are fully wiped out. The Shock begin to just slowly approach it. You can see Striker is just trying to just square up to the spawn doors here. 6 seconds left. It's up to Massa to try and contest, but they already knew he was there. The Icicle gets sent straight into him. Seconds away. Nobody can touch.
For so long they have been, and so that's a very understandable mentality. Deadeye's on either side here. How do they deal with this? There it goes, eaten up by the defense matrix. That one not quite, did a lot of damage to Massa, and they forced out the Immortality Field and clean up so easily. What a play from the San Francisco Shock. They come back into this, but they've already given up 80% almost.
Yeah, a lot.
And Nero's looking for an opportunity again.
Yeah, he is. He almost has this Blizzard. Now you're going to see them swinging into one another. Again, the self-destruct. The Shock are going to be using it. So much space being created by both of them. And the Blizzard being committed by Pelican. Not going to be getting anything done. It was, again, Nero with his own Blizzard getting really a lot of the work. Just locking up those players with the crowd control. Stay back into this fight. He gets the remake off. The fight's still alive. Nobody's really pressuring Iris. And he's putting in a tremendous amount of heals. But heals is not enough to win the team fight. The Shock overwhelm them as the Blizzard gets laid down once more. And as the overtime burns, the players cannot withstand. They can't stand toe-to-toe with the Shock just yet. And round number 1 is going to be going their way.
I'm sure a lot of people thought after Atlanta
Reign have to play this so carefully. Now the speed boost comes in. What a boop! That is incredible. FD God, he made his name off the back of plays like that, and he stopped the push before it even begins. The Immortality Field is going to keep him from dying just yet. Another boop off the edge. Pelican not going to be able to survive that one. But FD God, what a way to set things off. Shield pressure. In fact, both teams ended up using this Amp Matrix, and it's Choi who's going to get punished. Forced out of position. He goes down early. Super now. He's going to be gliding across the point here. He charges in. Nero still trying to turn it as well. The Icicle onto Kai will make it potentially winnable. The Blizzard with the Dragon Strike, a lot being committed, and look at that. Clever usage of the Ice Wall to give Gator a bit of respite onto the point, and eventually it flips over to the Atlanta Reign.
It does. The San Francisco Shock are still managing to find picks here, and Pelican feels forced to invest his Blizzard into this one. He is isolated with Gator underneath the point here, and unless Kai can make some magic happen in the backline, the Atlanta Reign are getting picked off from all sides. And that was...
Oh my goodness.
It felt like Atlanta had gotten the advantage by being able to take down Choyobin. Atlanta might look to play aggressively here. That is a massive Dragon Strike, though. It splits Atlanta Reign in half. Kai tries to reply, but there's FD gone again with a boop on a Pelican. But here it comes, that gravitic flux.
It's been flipped.
It's not enough.
99% and counting. The overtime goes for the Shock. They just knew the answers for it. They knew the Dragon Strike gravitic flux was coming through, and they managed to find a way out of it. The overtime goes down, but no one will be able to touch, as it is going to be the San Francisco Shock winning this series 3-2, and you can look at the players there. They knew